There are cities in the United States where median home prices remain under $150,000, where the cost of daily necessities is meaningfully lower than the national average, and where residents can build financial stability without carrying unsustainable debt. These cities do not generate significant media attention. They do not appear regularly in migration trend stories or lifestyle features. They exist, largely unnoticed, while the national conversation about housing affordability centers on a narrow set of overpriced metros. This video covers 12 of them, cities with real economies, functioning infrastructure, and housing markets that have not yet been distorted by speculative demand or sustained media attention. Each comes with trade-offs. None is presented as a perfect solution. The goal is to make the information available so that the decision, if it is made, is based on data rather than assumption. 12. Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville, Alabama is a mid-sized city with an economy built around aerospace, defense, and engineering. NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center is located here, as is Redstone Arsenal, one of the largest military installations in the country. The city's workforce includes the disproportionately high concentration of engineers and technical professionals relative to its population size. The city proper has a population of approximately 220,000 people, with the broader metro approaching 500,000. The median home price sits around $290,000, elevated relative to its historical baseline, but substantially below comparable technology and defense sector cities in other regions. The median household income is approximately $60,000 to $65,000. The cost of living is roughly 10% below the national average, and the unemployment rate has consistently remained below 3%. The economic base is stable and diversified across defense contracting, aerospace manufacturing, biotech, and logistics. These are not industries subject to rapid contraction. The city has sustained growth for over a decade without generating the speculative housing dynamics that have made similar growth corridors unaffordable elsewhere. The climate presents a challenge. Summers in northern Alabama are prolonged and humid, and the heat index regularly exceeds comfortable outdoor conditions for extended periods. The cultural and social infrastructure, while improving, does not match that of larger metros. These are real trade-offs for prospective residents to weigh. What Huntsville offers is a functioning economy with demand for skilled labor, a cost of living that has not yet overtaken income growth, and a housing market that remains accessible by the standards of comparable American cities. 11. Fargo, North Dakota. Fargo, North Dakota has a population of approximately 130,000 in the city and 250,000 in the metro area. The median home price is around $270,000, with entry-level housing available below that figure. The median household income falls between $58,000 and $62,000. The unemployment rate is one of the lowest in the country, consistently at or below 2.5%. North Dakota levies no state income tax. The city's economy is anchored by healthcare, higher education, agriculture-adjacent industries, and a growing technology sector. North Dakota State University provides a steady supply of credentialed labor and supports a modest but active research ecosystem. Downtown Fargo has undergone sustained investment over the past decade, resulting in a commercial and cultural district that has attracted residents who might otherwise have relocated to larger Midwest metros. The primary deterrent is the climate. Winters in northern Dakota are severe and prolonged, with wind chill temperatures regularly dropping below -30 degrees Fahrenheit. Snow accumulation begins in October and persists into April in significant years. This is not incidental to life in the city. It is a defining feature that affects transportation, outdoor activity, and daily logistics for a substantial portion of the year. Residents who remain past their first winter tend to remain for years. The rate of retention among long-term residents is high, and surveys of people who relocate to Fargo consistently cite community cohesion as a primary reason for staying. Whether that is a function of the climate or independent of it is difficult to isolate, but the pattern is consistent. For workers in remote-compatible roles, the combination of no state income tax, low housing costs, and a stable urban environment produces a financial profile that is difficult to replicate in most comparable American cities. 10. Knoxville, Tennessee. Knoxville, Tennessee occupies an unusual position. It shares the same state-level tax advantages as Nashville, no state income tax, a relatively low cost of living, and sits within a similar geographic and cultural context. Its housing market, however, has not experienced the same sustained price pressure that Nashville has absorbed over the past decade. The city has a population of approximately 195,000, with a metro area of around 900,000. The median home price is roughly $265,000. The cost of living is approximately 12% below the national average. The University of Tennessee, located within the city, supports employment in education, research, and healthcare, and contributes to a population with a younger median age than the region's demographics might otherwise suggest. The physical setting is a relevant factor. The Great Smoky Mountains begin within an hour's drive to the east. Several large reservoirs created by Tennessee Valley Authority dams are accessible within a short commute. Outdoor recreation, hiking, water sports, cycling is available at a scale and proximity that typically commands a significant price premium in other regions. The local job market is strongest in healthcare, education, and the skilled trades. Remote workers and those in technology or finance who do not require proximity to a specific employer find Knoxville's cost profile favorable. Those dependent on a specific local industry should verify sector depth before relocating. Housing prices in Knoxville have risen over the past several years and continue to trend upward, consistent with broader Sunbelt and Appalachian region dynamics. The affordability window, while still open, is narrowing. 9. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Sioux Falls, South Dakota has built one of the stronger mid-sized economies in the country, with relatively little national recognition. The city has a population of approximately 200,000. The median home price is around $275,000, with lower cost options available in surrounding communities. The median household income is approximately $58,000. The unemployment rate is among the lowest in the nation. South Dakota levies no state income tax and no state capital gains tax. The economic base spans finance, healthcare, manufacturing, and agribusiness. The finance sector is disproportionately large for a city of this size, in part due to favorable state banking regulations that have attracted major financial institutions to establish operations in South Dakota. This has produced a stable, white-collar employment segment that is not common in comparable Midwest cities. The infrastructure performs reliably. Crime rates are below the national average. Commute times are short. The cost of groceries, utilities, and routine services is meaningfully lower than in higher-cost metros, which compounds the effect of the city's relatively favorable income-to-housing ratio. The cultural and entertainment options available in Sioux Falls are those of a mid-sized regional city. They are not equivalent to what a major metro provides, and that gap is material for some prospective residents. The winters are cold and occasionally severe, consistent with the Northern Plains climate. These are the primary trade-offs. For households focused on long-term financial accumulation, savings rate, net worth growth, debt reduction, the combination of no income tax, low costs, and stable employment that Sioux Falls offers is difficult to find in cities that receive more attention. 8. Columbus, Ohio. Columbus, Ohio is the 15th largest city in the United States by population, with approximately 910,000 residents in the city and 2.1 million in the metro area. The median home price is around $230,000. The median household income is approximately $55,000. The cost of living is 8 to 10% below the national average. The city's economy includes healthcare, financial services, retail, education, and a growing technology sector. Ohio State University, one of the largest universities in the country by enrollment, is located within the city and functions as a significant economic driver, producing research activity, healthcare employment, and a consistent flow of credentialed graduates into the local labor market. Intel is currently constructing a large semiconductor manufacturing facility in the Columbus metro area, representing a major capital investment and a source of long-term manufacturing and technical employment. Columbus has sustained population and economic growth for over 2 decades. It is one of the few large Midwestern cities to have grown consistently rather than experience the population contraction that affected Detroit, Cleveland, and other legacy industrial centers in the region.
The city's neighborhoods are varied in character and quality, and cost and desirability differ substantially by location within the metro. The climate is typical of the upper Midwest: gray winters with moderate snowfall and cold temperatures. Summers are warm and humid. Neither extreme reaches the severity found in more northern cities, but the persistent overcast conditions during winter months are a consistent point of dissatisfaction among residents. Columbus is a city whose size and economic profile suggests a cost of living substantially higher than what it currently maintains. Whether that gap closes significantly in the near term depends on factors including regional development patterns and continued national investments in domestic manufacturing.
7. Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville, South Carolina has a city population of approximately 72,000 and a metro population approaching 900,000. The median home price within the city is around $290,000, with more affordable options available in surrounding communities throughout the upstate region. The cost of living is approximately 10% below the national average. South Carolina does not tax retirement income at the state level. The city's downtown is compact and walkable, centered on the Reedy River and the converted industrial greenway that serves as a public park. The built environment reflects sustained investment over roughly 2 decades, producing a commercial district with independent restaurants, local retail, and cultural venues at a density uncommon in cities of Greenville's size. The manufacturing sector is substantial. BMW operates a major production facility in the upstate region, and the area has attracted significant European industrial investment as a result. The presence of multinational manufacturing operations provides employment that is less volatile than purely service sector or tourism-dependent economies. The climate presents a standard upstate South Carolina profile: hot and humid summers, mild winters with occasional ice events, and a long growing season. Summers are warm enough to be limiting for residents sensitive to heat and humidity. Greenville's affordability relative to similar quality small cities in the southeast has been narrowing as the city has received increased national attention. Home prices have risen measurably over the past 5 years and continue to trend upwards. The cost advantage that currently exists is not guaranteed to persist at current levels over the medium term. 6. Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha, Nebraska has a city population of approximately 490,000 and a metro population close to 970,000. The median home price is approximately $230,000. The median household income is around $58,000. The cost of living is roughly 10% below the national average. The unemployment rate has remained consistently below the national figure. The city's financial and insurance sector is large relative to its population. Berkshire Hathaway, Mutual of Omaha, and TD Ameritrade have all maintained significant operations in Omaha. The presence of these institutions has produced a professional workforce with higher than average financial sector employment, which in turn supports a stable local economy less dependent on cyclical industries. Healthcare and technology employment have both expanded in the city over the past decade. The overall economic composition is diversified in a way that tends to produce stable employment conditions even during periods of broader national contraction. The climate is a persistent factor. Winters in Omaha are cold, with significant snowfall and sub-zero wind chills during peak months. Summers are warm and occasionally humid. Severe weather, including tornadoes, is a real risk in the region, though the city itself has not experienced catastrophic storm events in recent decades. Omaha does not have the entertainment infrastructure or cultural density of major coastal metros. For residents who prioritize access to large cultural institutions, major live event venues, or a wide range of dining and nightlife options, the city's offerings are more limited. These are trade-offs that prospective residents should assess against the financial profile the city provides. 6. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga, Tennessee has a city population of approximately 185,000 and a metro population of around 580,000. The median home price in the city is roughly $285,000, with more affordable options in surrounding communities. The cost of living is approximately 12% below the national average. Tennessee levies no state income tax.
The city invested in municipal fiber optic internet infrastructure beginning in the late 2000s, providing gigabit speed connectivity at competitive pricing to residential and commercial customers. This infrastructure investment predated the broader national discussion about broadband access and positioned Chattanooga as an early adopter, with a structural advantage for remote work and technology sector recruitment. The geographic setting is an asset. Lookout Mountain rises at the city's edge, and the Tennessee River runs through the urban core. Access to rock climbing, trail running, mountain biking, and whitewater paddling is available within 20 minutes of downtown. This level of outdoor recreation proximity, combined with an urban commercial district that has been substantially redeveloped since the 1990s, produces a quality of life profile that commands a premium elsewhere. The healthcare and tourism sectors are the largest local employers. The technology sector is growing but has not yet reached the depth of larger cities. Wage growth has lagged somewhat behind the city's rising cost of housing, which presents a tension for residents employed locally rather than remotely. Chattanooga's affordability advantage relative to comparable outdoor recreation cities, Asheville, Boulder, and Bend, remains significant, though the gap has narrowed as the city has attracted more national attention in recent years.
4. Tulsa, Oklahoma. Tulsa, Oklahoma has a city population of approximately 415,000 and a metro population of around 1 million. The median home price is approximately $185,000. The median household income is around $47,000. The cost of living is roughly 15% below the national average. Between 2018 and 2023, the city operated a program called Tulsa Remote, which offered financial incentives of $10,000 to remote workers who relocated to the city and committed to remaining for at least 1 year. The program attracted several thousand participants, many of whom were earning incomes set by higher cost of living markets while now paying Tulsa's substantially lower housing and living costs. A portion of these participants remained in the city beyond the program's requirements and became permanent residents. The city's economy includes energy, manufacturing, aerospace, and a growing finance and technology segment. The arts infrastructure is more developed than the city's national profile would suggest. The Philbrook Museum of Art, the Gilcrease Museum, and the Woody Guthrie Center are significant cultural institutions by any standard. Tulsa has a complex history. The 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre, in which the Greenwood District, a prosperous black commercial neighborhood, was destroyed in coordinated attacks by a white mob, represents one of the most severe instances of racially motivated violence in American history. The city has in recent years taken formal steps to acknowledge and document this history, including through a government commission and public commemoration efforts. This context is part of the city's identity and is relevant to a complete understanding of its past and present. The climate involves hot summers, cold winters, and real severe weather risk. Tornadoes occur in the region with meaningful frequency, and residents should be prepared with appropriate emergency protocols. 3. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Grand Rapids, Michigan has a city population of approximately 200,000 and a metro population of around 1.1 million. The median home price is approximately $230,000. The median household income is around $52,000. The cost of living is 10 to 12% below the national average. The city's healthcare sector is substantial. Spectrum Health and Mercy Health both operate major hospital systems in the area, and the combined healthcare employment base represents one of the largest segments of the local economy. Manufacturing remains significant, with a diversified set of industries that include automotive components, office furniture, and food processing. The sector composition has contributed to economic stability through periods when other Midwest cities experienced more severe contraction. Art Prize, an annual open submission art competition held in public spaces throughout the city, draws international participation and substantial visitor volume. The event reflects a level of cultural investment and civic engagement that has contributed to Grand Rapids' profile as a destination for residents seeking an urban environment with active cultural programming. Housing in the surrounding communities within the metro area offers a lower cost profile than the city proper, and many residents access Grand Rapids' employment and amenities from surrounding townships while maintaining lower housing costs.
The climate is a consistent factor. Grand Rapids sits downwind of Lake Michigan, which generates lake-effect snow that accumulates substantially during winter months. The winters are long and overcast, and the cumulative effect on mood and activity is a real consideration for prospective residents. Summers are warm and generally pleasant. The city's economic and demographic trends over the past 2 decades reflect sustained stability rather than the boom and bust cycle that has affected other legacy industrial cities in the region. 2. Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho has a city population of approximately 240,000 and a metro population of around 800,000. The median home price is approximately $390,000, which has risen substantially over the past 5 years following a period of significant in-migration from California, the Pacific Northwest, and other high-cost regions. The median household income is around $60,000. The unemployment rate has consistently remained below 3%. The city's cost profile, while elevated relative to its historical baseline, remains below comparable cities in the Pacific Northwest and California. The Treasure Valley, the broader metro region that includes Meridian, Nampa, and Caldwell, contains housing at price points meaningfully below the Boise city median, with access to the same employment base and amenities. The outdoor recreation access is a genuine and proximate feature. Skiing is available within an hour's drive. The Boise River Greenbelt runs through the city. Desert trails and river recreation are accessible from the urban core. This combination of urban infrastructure and outdoor access has been a consistent draw for relocating residents. The economic base has diversified beyond agriculture into technology, healthcare, food processing, and manufacturing. Several technology firms have established operations in the Boise metro over the past decade, contributing to employment growth and sustained in-migration. Housing affordability has become a significant local policy issue. The rapid price increases of 2020 through 2022 outpaced wage growth for many existing residents, and the affordability gap between long-term residents and incoming higher-income transplants has generated political and social tension. Infrastructure, including roads and public services, have not fully kept pace with population growth. Boise's affordability advantage relative to Pacific Northwest metros remains real, but has narrowed considerably since 2019. 1. Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Missouri has a city population of approximately 500,000 and a metro population of approximately 2.2 million. The median home price is around $225,000. The median household income is approximately $55,000. The cost of living is 10 to 12% below the national average. The city's economy spans healthcare, financial services, technology, manufacturing, and logistics. Its geographical position at the center of the continental United States supports a large distribution and transportation sector, and several major corporations maintain significant operations or headquarters in the metro area. Google Fiber launched its residential gigabit internet service in Kansas City before expanding to other markets. Sprint, now part of T-Mobile, was founded in the city. The technology sector, while not among the largest in the country, is established and continuing to grow. The cultural infrastructure is more developed than the city's national profile tends to reflect. The Nelson and Adkins Museum of Art holds a collection of international significance. The city's barbecue tradition is well documented and commercially active. The performing arts, sports, and live music scenes function at a scale consistent with a major metro, not a regional city. Kansas City has 2 professional football teams, the Kansas City Chiefs, 1 professional baseball team, the Kansas City Royals, and a Major League Soccer franchise. These are not incidental details. Professional sports franchises are economic anchors that support employment, attract visitors, and contribute to civic identity in ways that affect long-term residential desirability. The city maintains the affordability profile it does not because of economic weakness or population loss, but because housing development has kept pace with demand, land is available, and the city has not been subject to the speculative pressure that has driven prices in coastal and Sunbelt markets. A household earning the city's median income can, under current conditions, qualify for a mortgage on a median-priced home, a condition that no longer exists in a substantial portion of American cities. The climate involves hot summers, cold winters, and real risk of severe weather, including tornadoes. Certain neighborhoods carry crime rates substantially above the city average, and due diligence on specific locations within the metro is warranted before any relocation decision. The combination of metro scale, economic diversity, cultural infrastructure, and housing affordability that Kansas City currently offers is not common among American cities of comparable size. The conditions that produce it are not guaranteed to persist indefinitely, but as of the current period, the data supports its position as the most undervalued major city in the United States by cost of living standards. Outro. Closing. The cities covered in this video are not uniformly affordable, uniformly safe, or uniformly suited to every household's circumstances. Each has documented trade-offs in climate, job market depth, cultural infrastructure, or geographic isolation that are material to any relocation decision. What they share is a cost of living profile that allows residents to accumulate savings, service housing debt at manageable ratios to income, and maintain financial stability without depending on above-average earnings. That profile is not common across American cities, and it's less common now than it was 10 years ago. The cities that receive consistent media attention as desirable destinations are, in most cases, cities where the cost of living has already outpaced the benefit of locating there. The cities that remain affordable tend to remain so precisely because they have not attracted the speculative and media attention that drives prices upward. The information presented here is drawn from publicly available data on home prices, income, unemployment, and cost of living, as of the most recent available reporting period. Figures will change. The relative rankings of these cities may shift. Independent research before any relocation decision is warranted.